What's up, everybody? Patrick here from WP Builder Helper, once again coming at you with another video. So in today's video, we are going to discuss Plutio and specifically how to set up your web design projects so that you don't get confused and you're not confused with deadlines and things like that. So this can be a tough thing to tackle for someone that's relatively new. For someone who's probably a veteran, they'll probably have less of an issue with this. But what I use and what I had mentioned in my oxygen building video was actually Plutio. So Plutio is the tool that I use, and it's a really great tool. If you've never played with it, I suggest you come to their webpage and just look. It's got things like time tracking, invoices, proposals, an inbox, a CRM. I mean, there's so much that's in here that it's really getting a little bit ridiculous. It's like an all-in-one tool, and it just kind of works. There are some people who are not specifically, they don't like it, maybe because of the pricing or whatever. But I'm telling you right now, this is one of the best deals ever. I mean, $15 a month gets you something that basically works similar to some of the budget apps out there. So if you were using something along the lines of FreshBooks, it's almost got a FreshBooks feel to it. So it's a web application. There is no program that you download or anything like that. And inside of it, you'll have a list of projects, invoices, proposals, all the things that we mentioned earlier. You even get a calendar, which I'm thinking my calendar is probably, it's got my affiliate website on it, but there's not much. But you can sort things by week, day, agendas, stuff like that. And typically when you have more stuff that's in here, then you have a lot more that goes with it. But if you have a bunch of projects that are going on, so as you can see, I'm working on an affiliate website number 2. There's invoicing, there's subscription, there's all kinds of stuff that you can really take and dive into and you can look at and see. You've got contracts down here, you've got people that you can dive into, and I've got all of this filtered out just because, it's personal stuff. But I mean, for the most part, I'm taking you into a deep dive of it just so that you can see it. You've even got a chat here so that when you invite clients to this, that they can chat back and forth with you. Essentially, it just gives you one area where you can chat with your clients. But what most people really like about this is the projects section, where if we go to the projects section, you have like a task board. So this is my website board that I use, and it's it changes depending on the client's needs. So for instance, let's say a client has hosting that they need. Well, then obviously that would go in probably the planning or the designing phase, probably the planning, where we would set up hosting. If they didn't have a domain name, we'd add that onto the list. There's certain things that we add. So this doesn't cover everything. This just covers some of the different things that I've run into, and I try to make it as simplified as possible. So typically when I start off with a web design project, I start off with a consulting session, which is basically where I will take and talk to the person. I give them a questionnaire, and we just chat about what they're doing. Usually this can last anywhere from 30 minutes to an hour. I've had some go as far as 2 hours, depending on how complex the project is. Then usually I request the assets, so things like the logo design, things like the images, things like the copy, Word docs, PDFs, videos, pictures, images that they want, those type of thing. From there, we work on a sitemap and page structure. So this is where I do stuff on paper generally, but it requires actually drawing out a sitemap or using a mind map for say, just to see what their website's going to look like before we ever start developing any of the design or initial concepts or anything like that. Then we move on to the initial design concept phase, which is essentially like wireframing. So I could call this wireframing is what this is. It's where you make a dirty, real quick layout of the design without much changes, without much stuff, not adding in the content, basically blocking it out so that the customer can see what it would look like on the page. And then from here, we go to deliver initial concept to the client review, and then depending on what the client comes back with, you can have several reviews or revisions depending on what your contract has in it and things like that. And from there we go to launch, which is where we check the website for any issues. And then finally we clone the website to a blank host, or we clone it to their site depending on where we're cloning it to. So generally I work offline. There's two other programs that I'm going to have to make a separate video on these that I like using, but I clone both of my websites off of there. So I'm sure people are interested in that, and if you are interested, go ahead and comment down below, and I'll be sure to talk about both of these programs, because both of these programs are really great. But from there, we do customer support. Typically, support for a customer lasts 1 month, no charge. I charge the first month is free support after I've done a project with you. So you get a 1 month of free support of emailing, calling me, that type of thing, and saying, hey, I need some help with this, or I need you to train me or teach me with something like that. And then from there, I email them 1 week after just to discuss if I haven't heard from them, or maybe they haven't said anything, just to get their feedback for what they like. At this point in time, usually I hit them up for any kind of referrals, and I'll also let them know what my packages are if they'd like to move forward with going further than 1 month or 2 months or 3 months or 4 months, going into a support type scenario where rather than doing it one-off, which is way more expensive, we can do it at a lower monthly rate that is a locked-in proposal where you keep paying me and we're good and everything like that. And that's another thing that's kind of nice about all of this. This all links together. So you've got tasks here, you've got projects, but you also have proposals. So in proposals, you can actually go in there and you can create invoices and reoccurring invoices that a client can come in and pay. Like I said, I really like Plutio. I've been with them since the beginning, I believe, and they're one of my favorite tools to use. So if you've never used it, I think you should take and you should look at it. You really, the solo part is all you need. You don't need clients. You don't need to invite clients to it. As long as you can take and organize your stuff, you can organize it. Now, I do have the ability to invite clients to it, which is very useful, but you definitely don't need contributors if you're just starting out. If you want to up this later on, then that's great, but I understand that this is it's an option for you. Now, for those people who are a little bit cheaper, or maybe they don't have as much money, you can use something like Trello, which, if you've never heard of Trello, Trello is a board website which works kind of similar to this. The only difference is it doesn't have invoices, proposals, contacts, people, calendar, inbox, wikis, or timesheets. So you would have to find a tool for each one of these. But as you can see, I've kind of set up a board here that's got basically all of the same things that I've had before. So it's got all of the initial stuff that I've had and things like that. So that's what's going on. So I tell you what, if you guys are interested, if we get 25 likes in this video, I will take and I will open this board up. Right now it's a private board. I'll open it up to where it's not a private board so that everybody can see it, and I'll let you copy it. If we get 25 likes, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to open it up to you guys so that you can just see it. I mean, granted, you could copy it from here if you wanted to, but essentially I'll open it up and let you copy it. That way you just have something that you can use as a as a template. And anybody who's got Plutio, I could try and save this as a template too. Reach out to me and I'll let you know. But once again, this is just me kind of telling you. At the end of this video, I will have an affiliate link down at the bottom. So if you're interested in getting with Plutio, I do have an affiliate link where I get a small commission if you end up joining. If you would like to join or maybe try it out, go ahead and do that, and I would love to see how you guys do. If you guys have any questions, or maybe you have concerns or things that you do different than I do, please take and send me a message on YouTube, or tell me what you do different or what you do that I don't do maybe. I'd love to hear the feedback, because I'm always revising this to try and get it more and more refined and seeing what I'm missing. So far, this has worked with me for several clients. I haven't had any issues with them, and I've kind of tweaked it as I went on. A long time ago, I never used anything like this, so this is kind of, it was one of those things where years ago I never did any of this, but now I've started following this plan, and it just makes it easier for the client to see where we are in the process. All right, so hopefully you guys like this video. I know it's not a super deep dive. I didn't want to bore people who maybe weren't interested in it, but for those people who are interested, this is a really cool tool. Like I said before, if not, you could definitely use something like this. You're just going to have to require other tools to try and fit in those other tools that you don't have any access to. All right, so hope you guys like this, and I will see you guys next time.